Hello, and welcome to Esther's Gardening Adventures. I'm Esther, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to save seeds from the peppers you grow in your garden to grow again for next year. I have to tell you, I have been super surprised with how warm of a fall we've had. We've had some days in the 60s, but today I'm looking at the thermostat on my TV, the monitor of the temperature on my TV. It says 78 degrees outside. I'm in Maryland, zone 7A. And I don't know about you, but my peppers are still producing tons. I went out to the garden today just to see it, visit it, and I came in with my shirt lifted up, at the bottom where I had to fit. It was too many peppers to fit in my hands. I had to use my shirt to aid me. And, it's a great feeling to have in the fall season. But I thought, it's still not too late to save pepper seeds for next year. And in fact, sometimes this is the best time because, you're sort of getting to the end of the crop and you can save the peppers that are fully mature, maybe even a little over mature. And it's a great time. So for starters, many of the rules that apply to saving seeds anytime apply here. First of all, you want to save seeds from the plants that are the healthiest, no diseases or major pest issues, the best specimen, the best plants out of that bed. Ideally, you want to save seeds from more than one plant, just in case you're planning on saving for generations, just to have sort of a bigger gene pool over the long term, although that's less of a concern if you're just planning on saving for 1 year or something. And then also, you want to pick peppers that are fully ripe. So for example, my Jimmy Nardello peppers are green most of the time, and then they turn red at the very end, and that is when the seeds are mature enough to be saved. So you need to kind of know the pepper well enough to know, okay, what stage can I save it at? Now, as for deciding what peppers to save, there are a few other considerations that are different than some others. One is the gene for peppers that make them hot is a dominant one. And so there is a chance that if you're growing hot peppers in the same bed or close, and I don't know how close, but relatively close to peppers that are mild or sweet or are not hot, that there's a chance that they will cross-pollinate. And it's not a problem when you're growing that particular plant, but if you save the seeds from it, the seeds could have that cross-pollination happen. I have a friend who saved both Jimmy Nardello pepper seeds and fish pepper seeds, which are a little bit spicy, and she ended up with some sort of weird hybrid of spicy Jimmy Nardello peppers this year. So you can have that happen. So it's just something to be aware of. I have saved seeds from Jimmy Nardello peppers. They're a sweet one. They're my favorite, honestly, they're my favorite pepper to grow. The seeds that I grew plants for were from last year in a bed that I did have hot peppers, and they stayed true to their form. So it's not a guarantee that they'll be hotter, but you are running a slight risk, and that's something worth knowing. So today I have Jimmy Nardello seeds. I have a green pepper that I can't remember the variety of, but I like how it tastes. It's sort of like a poblano pepper, but it's not hot, although some of them are hot. But I like how the crop is done this year, so I'm gonna save seeds from that. And then I got like a long, giant Italian pepper from the farmer's market, which is another place you can save your seeds from. Not all plants that you get at the farmer's market are necessarily going to be heirloom, i.e. you can save from year to year. But if you ask the farmer, they'll let you know if it's safe to seed. Mine knows I love to save seeds. She goes, oh yeah, you can save the seeds from that one. And that does bring me to the other point, which is for peppers, for any plant, having an idea of whether you're saving a plant that is heirloom or open pollinated is another term they use, versus hybrid is important. You can save seeds from both, but if you're saving seeds from an heirloom or an open pollinated plant, the likelihood of the next generation of that plant being exactly the same, granted it might have a hot variation to it, but being generally the same is much higher than if you're using a hybrid, because a hybrid is not a stable genetic structure, and it could revert to one or more of the characteristics of one of the 2 or 3 parent plants. So you're just running risk of having something that won't turn out quite like you'd hoped, or maybe even not that great tasting. But it's a fun adventure, so it never hurts to try. All right, let me take you to the kitchen and let's get started, because I'm also going to be eating these peppers tonight. Here's what, minus this guy, what I harvested from my garden today. Isn't that crazy? It's like mid-October, which is the fall pumpkin season, And I'm still getting peppers from the garden. I knew I'd be getting some, but I didn't expect it to be this bountiful. All right, so the next thing I do is I make sure I have a plate ready for each of them. Now, since pepper seeds all kind of look alike, you definitely want to have them labeled. So I have my Jimmy Nardello, excuse the handwriting, my large Italian cooking pepper, and I noted farmer's market there, so when I do the envelope for the seeds later, I'll know what it is. And then my mystery poblano-ish pepper. And really, it's just like any time you cut a pepper. You know, I like, because I want to save as much of the pepper as I can. With these ones that are just sort of cylindrical, I like to just cut the top just the tiniest bit and kind of squish the edges where the pieces join. Pull it out like that. Look how nice that is. Now there's still a good number of seeds in here. In fact, before I go any further, I'm gonna, since it's for me and my husband, I can lick it. Okay, this is a mild one. So I can stick my hands in. If it was super hot, I would probably put on gloves. Or I would, yeah, I would probably put on gloves. All right. So here we have the peppers. And as you can see, some moisture on them. You can even see the moisture on my hand, in fact. These are wet. And they're good peppers, but, you know, you need seeds to dry in order to store them. So really, it's quite simple. Just get the seeds off the base. And again, if it's a hot pepper, make sure to wear gloves. And in this case, I don't need the stem part. In fact, I should have a little bowl here for trash. But in this case, I'm just gonna do like I would do anytime it's on a counter and just put them onto here. Take out this wet part. And really, you do want to distribute it so that they're not like on top of each other if you can, if they're stuck together. Trying to make sure they have sort of space to dry out. But peppers aren't super wet like tomatoes or other things. Of course, you do a different process for tomatoes, but peppers tend to be fine. Now, on days where I don't have time to write it down and I'm just saving the seeds, I might save the top with the stem so that I can see what it looks like. I might save a little more of the top, you know, with the stem here, so that when I look at it, I go, oh, this is the straight stemmed green one, or like just save like the curly sort of wrinkled top. Oh no, that's a Jimmy Nardello pepper. So like, you can also save it that way if you want. All right, now for our Jimmy Nardello pepper. Now, one of the things I really love about this pepper is the skin is so thin that really you don't even need a knife. Now, I could use a knife, but I'm just gonna show you what I often do, which is I often just like pop it wherever it's willing to pop on me. And you can even just take your finger and just run it down. Look how easy that was. Just run it down and open it up. Look at that beautiful structure inside. Here's our Jimmy Nardello plate. I am going to separate the seeds out of that, but I'm just getting them on the plate to start with. I kind of love how with the Jimmy Nardello pepper, it kind of looks squid-like with the tentacles at the end. Little squid-like tentacles. You know, I can stack the plates like this until I get to putting it out on the place where I dry my peppers. All right, now for our large Italian cooking pepper. Try doing a thin cut at the top like I normally do with peppers, just to see how well it works here. Kind of pushing on the points where we know the pepper usually connects. Moving it around. Can't really hurt peppers too bad. Look at that. A little bit left inside. I'll try a tiny taste. That's delicious. And it is much more pungent of a peppery flavor than the Jimmy Nardello, which is much more mild. I'm just getting the last of these seeds out of here because this is the only one of this plant I have. I'm gonna go put them on my table where I'm drying out seeds. As you can see, my seed saving table is quite full, but I do have this plate of Jimmy Nardello peppers that I saved and dried earlier this summer, probably a few weeks ago to a month ago. I've just been kind of adding the seeds as I go. And as I mentioned, you can see, instead of writing the name on it, I just put a Jimmy Nardello pepper on here to sort of identify it, where it came from. So you have several options when you're going to store your seeds. One is, if you have a lot of seeds, or if you just think you'll have a lot of seeds like I did here, you can store them in a glass jar. These are sugar snap peas from this year's garden that I'm going to try. My first time saving the seeds. I'm going to try growing them next year and see how they do. Oh, and you can see in there that I have a moisture absorber packet, because I just think it's a good, like whenever you have pill bottles or anything, just save the packets, put them anywhere you want to make sure there's not too much moisture in it. What I prefer to do is to actually use these little envelopes I got on Amazon for like 10 bucks for like 50 of them or 100 of them. And I'm getting low in how many I have left, but they've lasted me basically 2 years for seed saving and giving seeds away. What you'll want to do is to write what it is, right? Jimmy Nardello peppers. I like to put harvested 2021, my garden, right? You don't have to put that necessarily. Now, if you're planning on giving it away to someone else, you'll want to mention like whether they need full sun, whether they're frost hardy, the spacing requirements, things like that. But if it's just for you and you kind of already know that information, then this is fine. Now that I have it labeled, what you definitely want to do first, because if you put the seeds in first, you'll end up, your pen will end up breaking a hole through this kind of envelope. Carefully bend it so they don't go everywhere. Got one who didn't want to let go of the plate. Let go of the plate. And there you can see the seeds inside, nice and full. And we'll be putting the other seeds for Jimmy Nardello we've dried in here later on. So what I will do is, in the meantime, since I have these that we just took out of the pepper, I'll just put the envelope for the seeds that I've already saved on top of the plate and just leave it here. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. If you aren't already a subscriber, please consider doing so. And otherwise, I'll see you next time.